episode of Conversation with a Chef. I'm Jo Ritty and I love sharing with you the conversations I get to have with talented and passionate chefs. It's the backstory, if you will, to the food they're putting up. I begin today by acknowledging the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, traditional custodians of the lands and airwaves where this conversation took place, land which was never ceded, land where communities came together to eat seasonally, locally and without exhausting resources. I pay my respects to the elders past and present and to any First Nations people listening today. I met Orlando Marzo when I was writing about Joe Vargetto's Bianchetto and Orlando was curating the drinks list. Orlando is passionate about what he does and a great storyteller. When I ran into him again at the little food market recently and he suggested catching up to tell me his story and take me through some of the Loro drinks, I said, no way. Are you kidding? A world-class bartender and winner of the prestigious 2018 Diageo World-Class Cocktail Competition coming by with drinks? Of course I said yes. Orlando's bartending journey began in Modena, Italy. After completing hospitality school, he headed to London to sharpen his craft, honing his skills and making connections until he got to work at his dream bar, Milk and Honey. By the end of 2013, Orlando made his way to Australia, having heard about Melbourne's hospitality scene and seeing it as the next step. He worked at Eau-de-Vie, Dinner by Heston and Lume, and discovered a gap in the market for elevated, ready-to-serve drinks. Fast forward to December 2021, and Orlando launched Loro, a bottled cocktail company designed to bring world-class cocktails to anyone, anytime. And very happily, that included me. This was the perfect Friday afternoon. Stories and cocktails. What more could I ask for? Hello. How are you?
Very good. How are you doing?
Good.
Do you want to go through the tastings?
Go on then.
Yeah. So I wanted really to show you, I can't remember what you tried at the event.
I tried a lot.
We can make some modification of the drinks. Because what I wanted to show you, and one of the biggest things that we've seen from the event, is what you can actually do with Loro cocktails. I think you like the martini, didn't you?
Yes.
There you go. It's Friday. Beautiful. Okay, a little lemon.
So tell me about the olive martini.
So olive martini, with the olive martini, what do we do? We wanted to present a martini that is elegant and opulent and has that beautiful flavor of olives. We always say that as a bartender, that as a bartender, when people ask for a dirty martini, is technically incorrect in the bar world.
Because it's not pure?
Because, in a way, yeah, correct. Because you're putting on top of the beautiful, fragrant, aromatic of gin and dry vermouth, you're putting olive brine, right? Absolutely. You're putting olive brine.
Yeah.
And then now the olive brine, which is delicious.
Yeah.
But the olive brine, pickle juice, basically, masks all the flavor of the gin and the dry vermouth, right? So, you know, bartenders, when we get dirty martini, we get a bit funny about it. But if you think about it, olive and lemon have always been a great complement of a martini. They always dress their martini glass very beautifully. So I wanted to get the flavor of the olives without having the brine in it interrupting. And if you think about it, what is the flavor of the olives? Because they're beautiful, they're juicy, they're salty. And then only if I put you in front of like 3 different olives, you'll be able to say, oh, this is different, this is meaty. But my family's been olive growers for like years. Yeah. Like 8 generations. We have 1,000 years old trees.
Wow.
The trees have split. We have trees from here to the window. Like
wow.
Yeah, they're split.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And for me, the most amazing flavor memory, one of the most amazing flavor memory I have is when you take olives to the press, to the mill, whatever you want to call it. It's called frantoio in Italian, which now is also a variety of olives.
Oh, yeah, I thought, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like freshly pressed, beautiful, like green, vegetal kind of notes. It's really magnificent. And so we distill it. I'll show you. We use this machine called rotary evaporator. Probably I showed you. Okay, this here.
Yeah.
We put olive oil in here.
Oh.
That's the olive oil.
Yeah.
And it comes crystal clear.
Wow.
So then to that, we then add again gin, 2 types of dry vermouth, and filtered water. And that's it. So it's very clear.
It's amazing. And it has got that, and just that little squeeze of that lemon zest.
Bravo. So I want to show you something really magical. Close your eyes. I'm kidding. Look at this. That's how much oil goes into a drink. But I want to show you something, right?
Yeah.
You know when you go to some bars, right? So I just done that and you smelt it.
Yeah.
Right? So if I give me your hand, I won't propose it.
Oh.
Smell it? What does it smell like? Amazing.
Yeah.
Aromatic. Now,
Yeah.
right? If I take it and do this, lick it. What is it like?
Can't really taste anything.
Bitter?
It's a bit bitter. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why.
Oh, when they rub around the glass.
Don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully, yeah. And I know it's very common. Even some great bartenders do, but they don't know why they do it.
Yeah.
So I was very lucky, Joe, to have had the best academy ever. The best decision I ever made in my career was to work for the Rushmore Group, which had one bar in London called The Player, which was opened by the gentleman who invented espresso martini. And they had a bar called Milk and Honey. These in the 90s were the first bars to have freshly pressed juices. Now it feels like, hey, what are you talking about? It's normal. That was, back in the days, it was not.
So what were you? How did you get to do that? How did you?
I applied for a job when I was when I left Italy and went to London. The real story is that as soon as I got to London, like typical me, just Googles and saw my top 10 bars is like, I want to work there. Milk and Honey was, if you ask anyone in London, there would be a queue of bartenders to start their own career there.
Yeah.
And then I went there one day and I was like, Milk and Honey, like 10 a.m. in the morning, with written CV, printed. Yeah, I know, right? And I was like, hello, I'm looking for a job. And the guys told me, oh yeah, send an email to Joe, whatever. And obviously that's not the path to take, right? And then that's fine. I found another job in the city of London. So then I started to learn English better, started to understand how the city works. Like every city is different. You're going to get into that circle. Started to go to cocktail bar and ask bartenders, where do you normally drink? Where do you normally drink? So started to hang out with the right people, go to masterclasses, events and whatnot. And then I was working in Soho in another place and my friend goes, my bar manager, it's actually a lovely story. Honestly, you know why? Because when people say you're lucky, you create, there's always that kind of opportunity. You don't understand how a yes or a no will create your path.
No, I agree. But I think there's luck and then there's also, you create your luck as well.
Yeah.
Because you networked and you put
Correct.
yourself out in those places. You were curious, you wanted to learn.
Yeah. And for me, if you ask me what was the chain,
Yeah.
on a day off, I remember, it was my day off, I do exercise, I was much fitter, don't judge me. I was doing exercise and I remember I was doing a smoothie and my bar manager rang me and says, hey Orlando, I got a friend of mine, he runs a members club in Knightsbridge, London a little bit? Like Knightsbridge is like Turek, but in the CBD, right? It's really high end. And it's like, this is a really cool bar and we got a uniform, can you please help him out? It's like 2.5 hours inside this members bar. Sometimes they give you like quick information, you just say yes or no. Look, there's a members bar, there's another gallery, you just need a bartender for 3 hours to do cocktails. Cool, no problem. I'll do it. I rock up there, members bar are a thing in London, and it's not like the reputation maybe they have here. This members bar had no numbers, Prince William is meant to be there. It was a really high end.
Wow.
Right? So the way they run this members bar, because they take bookings, but only for the members, the restaurant is always open there, and the bar is always open. But you might be a night when no one comes. And that's fun. Yeah, it's very bizarre. So then this night, I remember, they opened, there was a new show every month. and they needed a bartender upstairs to make, I remember, a pomegranate Bellini. And I had a room maybe a little bit bigger than this, with this very, really cool art on the wall. A little bar, a fridge here with the pomegranate juice and a little accordion that the bartenders made, Prosecco and glasses. I made 2 Bellinis in 3 hours shift.
Oh.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
Very bizarre. And I was going downstairs. I was like, can I help you? Can I do something? The barman was like, oh, no, don't worry. And then we had like a quick chat. And he was like, oh, look, I really like your attitude. I'm like, oh, I didn't do anything. Anyway, I really like your attitude. If I keep your number if more events come up. So I ended up going twice there. And he was kind of stimulating me with the question, what do you want to do? You work in Soho, this bar, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, my dream is to work in Milk and Honey or the Montgomery place in London. There's really top bars. And then he said, oh, cool, I got a friend of mine that he manages. Yeah, I know, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I said, I got a friend of mine that he manages the bar called The Player, which is the sister bar of Milk and Honey. Well, The Player was called The Player because it was opposite one of the most famous record studios in London.
Ah.
Yeah, but also next door to a Jean Provocateur. So you never know why it was called The Player.
Yeah, right.
It was really fun. It was really amazing. In Soho, a Jean Provocateur was on steroids. They had beautiful women, men, and mix on the window during Christmas, just dancing semi-naked up to midnight. It was really lovely. And then I ended up working at The Player, and then from there my career started at The Player, Milk and Honey. But you know what? If you go back, if I wouldn't say yes to that shift, it wouldn't introduce me to
that guy,
Members Bar.
Yeah,
it wouldn't introduce me. You know what I mean?
So good.
Yeah.
But when you were in Italy, is that you just always wanted to work with drinks? Where did that come from?
I was an alcoholic. No, my family, my dad he makes wine. She doesn't make him a winemaker. Oh. No, I'm choosing my words right. He's been making wine for a while. My granddad,
just at home.
Just at home, but a good amount. Still maybe 3,000, 4,000 liters.
Oh gosh, okay. Well.
Yeah. Just gets a big load of grapes, and he likes the different varieties, and we always have a tub and with the cards. So sometimes coming back from school, it's like, oh, can you help me, with job? Yeah, right. So I've always been involved in the making.
Yeah.
Maybe I think that's where it comes from. And my mom has a big family, so there is never a dull moment in the family. It's never like a dinner or two. She sometimes is very hard because you can never have a quiet time, but there's always an auntie passing by. She has 5 sisters and 6 brothers.
I always dreamed of that. I come from a really small family, and I always wished I had that kind of dynamic. Yeah. What part of Italy is that?
Southeast Puglia.
Oh yeah, Puglia. Yeah. Oh wow.
Very trendy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm from Salento. Oh. Lecce is really beautiful. When you come, I'll normally draw a map for people. Go Lecce, Otranto, Leuca, Gallipoli.
Beautiful.
Brava. So, what did I make here is a strawberry and cream Negroni.
Yes.
This was a special release that we did with Chandelier. So 5 years ago, we didn't know each other, and we were sitting in the ABC studio doing an interview, and a PA introduced to each other. I said, this is Orlando, this is Shane, he has a lot of bars and restaurants, and Orlando has got a pop-up bar, and he's about to launch his bottle cocktail business. And I said, oh yeah, bottle cocktails, blah, blah. And the PA was like, oh, try. And he tried, and he was like, oh my God, this is the best Negroni I ever had. If I got a few restaurants. If I open a bar, I would love to have that Negroni. So when he was close to open Vargetto on Bond Street in Yamaha, he called us and said, I want to have that Negroni that I tried a couple of years ago. And then to honor that, we've created strawberry and cream Negroni.
Wow.
We use freeze-dried yogurt, which gives a lovely malolactic texture and aroma on the palate without interrupting the flavor of the classic Negroni and be really milky. But it gives you that reminiscent of strawberry and cream.
And the rose hip, that's very interesting as well.
Rose hip, and we use a little bit of blackberry leaf as well.
Okay.
To give that Negroni backbone, because sometimes you bring it to your nose and you might feel it's a little bit more confected because we use dehydrated strawberries.
Yeah.
What happens when you dehydrate citrus or fruit in general? You're basically depleting that ingredients from water, therefore you're concentrating sugar. So it might feel a little bit sweeter, but it's basically a perception of sweetness. And what I did...
But doesn't feel quite as punch, like it's not, and you've, well, I suppose with the soda as well. Yeah.
Correct. The reason why I added a little bit of soda is because when we do, with Loro, we see particularly our guests, our customers being on the journey of Loro, entertaining at home, having a little drink on a Tuesday night and just put the bottle back in the fridge and whatnot. But sometimes you're at the dinner table and you want to keep the party going.
Yeah.
And you might want to stretch a little bit of that. You're on a beautiful day, you're sitting outside on the deck, you don't want to have like a punchy straight Negroni. No. So you can stretch it a little bit. And the reason why I let you add some water to this one is because it basically becomes a spritz. It
does, yeah.
Or like an Americano.
So nice.
Yeah.
So is Loro mainly for home use, because it's used in restaurants and bars as well?
Yeah, not necessarily. Loro was mainly created to elevate beverage experiences where you don't have that kind of skill in place, or the volume requires to do things a little bit more streamlined. And you should never compromise quality for volume, I think, right? So what I realized, as a bartender, I remember going to dinner by Heston, like the pinnacle, the bar program was like helped and elaborated by one of my greatest mentors back then, and working with Heston Blumenthal and Ashley Palmer Watt, the executive chef, was like amazing, right? But we had like 180 people at one sitting, so we used to make a martini that was representing the journey from the Brits coming to Australia. So the last things they see they've been the coast of Devon, which is white, full of chalk. The first thing with the scene would be Perth, so sandstone and whatnot. We used to represent chalk and sandstone together. Distills precipitated chalk, representing sandstone aroma, 2 types of dry vermouth, distilled gin. It was like 7 ingredients to drink, right? You could not make that efficiently for 180 people, one by one.
Right.
So what we did, we bottled it.
Yeah.
And we went to the table because, fine dining, which technically for me is basically a considered dining experience, where nothing is left as a second thought. Always everything is thought, from tea to pastry to all the aspects, right? So we used to go to the table with this bottle, there was our martini, and put it, and people were like, oh my God, you're not making it fresh? But telling the story in 30 seconds and drinking one of the best martini they ever had was an experience. And the guests realized, oh my God, this is amazing. When you came with the bottle, I'm not gonna lie, we had this a lot.
Yeah.
People were like, oh, when you came with the bottle, I was like, what's happening?
Yeah.
I wanna see it fresh. Why is it coming from a bottle?
Yeah.
But then it's like, this is one of the best martini. And then we start to be like, oh my God, you gotta try that martini, dinner by Heston from the bottle. People, they used to come there and be like, oh, Joy and I have a party, we got 40 people, can I buy 10 bottles? I'm like, oh, no, it's only here. And this was on repeat, right? It's my wedding, it's my anniversary, it's my friend's 30th, can I buy 2 bottles? I really want to have it. Like, no. I was like, okay. Then I went to Lume in South Melbourne, and I started to basically take that.
When were you there? Was that
2000 and...
Were you with the original chef or the...
Sean Quaid? Yeah, I was there with Sean Quaid. Yeah.
I had a conversation with a chef with him, and he said he didn't want to have his photo taken on the day, and he sent me a photo of him holding a rabbit. And I'm like, what are you doing with the rabbit? Are you
He's
eating the rabbit? Like,
It was very artistic.
It was very artistic. It was amazing.
That's a good way to...
Wow, that was, pretty creative there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And I worked there from when everyone hated us and when everyone loved us. Because it was a bit of, the beginning was a bit of a
very
drama.
Pendulum at Lume. Yeah.
Anyway, so when I got there at Lume, I started to bring this idea of creating a cocktail. And we had this I came up with this really cool idea of having a martini and a martinez combined.
What's a martinez?
Great question. Martinez, yes. Martinez is arguably the precursor of the martini. Hello, hola. Is the precursor of the martini. The story says that back in the days, the martinez was what people were drinking, which is basically sweet vermouth, gin, bitters, and orange curacao. Then the palate that became drier, so then the amount of sweet, normally was 2 parts of sweet vermouth, 1 part of gin. Then our palates became drier, so people started to do it with equal parts of vermouth to equal parts of gin. And then now double the gin, less sweet vermouth. And then rather than sweet vermouth, they used to use dry vermouth. That's how the martini came.
Okay.
Yeah. But then I was like, follow me?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Maybe.
I slow down. But...
It's a Friday afternoon.
Sorry. Salute. But what I did at Lume, I was like, well, this would be cool. It would be really cool if we create a martinez, where we distill sweet vermouth, so it's clear like that, and we make it like a martini. But when you try, you have the aromatic of the sweet vermouth, and the sugar level is brought between a martini and a martinez. So, long story short, we call this cocktail Martini Martinez. Is it a martini or is it a martinez?
Nice.
And it went bonkers.
Yeah.
People loved it. Again, same story. Can I buy a bottle? What is available? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Then I used to have other drinks. We had a cocktail called Al Andaluz, like Andalusia in Spain. It used to be basically a fortified kind of wine with botanicals, almost like a very, very low Negroni. And again, we used to beeswax a bottle inside, giving texture with beeswax, and then put it at the table. And people loved it. And then again, I had this on repeat. Can I buy a bottle? Yes. So then we looked into the license. We could sell a bottle, we could sell up to 2 bottles to guests. One if it was open and the other one corked.
Yeah.
So we started to do that. We started to do that at Lume. People were like, I want a bottle of Martini Martinez. Beautiful, done. And then we needed to produce more and more and more. To the point that I was like, you know what? This should be a thing. What I'm noticing is that people are asking of this because we also been in that position when at Lume you come up and say, hey, my friends doing a party. We want 120 martinis on arrival. We'll be like, sorry, Joe, can't do that because we don't have 10 bartenders to spare. But we can give you champagne because one person with a bottle and glasses.
Yeah.
Okay. Then at Lume there, I developed this concept that if I empower everyone to have a conversation about cocktails, it's not just the head bartender talking about drinks.
Yeah.
But it's everyone. And then particularly there, I've noticed that people thirst and interest was to have something amazing beyond just be an amazing restaurant, an amazing bar. People that just want to have that cocktail at home, to put it from the freezer and enjoy,
But how do you, because I feel like pre-mixed drinks were a dirty word.
Security out.
And obviously what you're doing is not that. But did you have to get over that? Like, did you have to still convince people that
we do this
pre-made or pre-batched or what? Well, I don't even know what you call it because what
ready
you're doing,
to serve.
ready to serve, so nice. How do you? Because I feel like there's a little bit of science in this as well. Like seeing your little, seeing your
machine
and whatever. Like it's quite laboratory kind of.
Yeah.
How do you know how to do that? And how do you get such a good product in a quantity like that?
Yeah, how do you scale up? Yeah,
how do you scale up?
Yeah, no, totally. Like, This wasn't born in a boardroom over a business strategy. This was born in literally because I've been working with ingredients and taste and flavors for quite some time, and it's kind of, if you want, a result of my career step by step.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So in terms of scaling, I kind of know what can be done in terms of flavors and what techniques that I used in the past to intensify flavors in one way and diluted, or things that worked, things that didn't work. How did I learn about these machines?
Because it's one thing to make cocktails, it's another thing to do what you do.
Yeah, it's progressive. Look, this machine is called rotary evaporator, and it became quite famous in the last 8 years, really. When a food scientist and bartender aficionados from New York called Dave Arnold released a book called Liquid Intelligence. And that became a make or break for the modern bartender. When back in the days, you measure a bartender by the archive or knowledge of classic cocktails they know. Nowadays, it's more about their creativity skills and how much techniques they can use to empower themselves, fortunately or unfortunately, and modify cocktails in a way, okay? So then these books start to explain about these machines, and normally these machines are used in laboratory to
It looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, like to make CBD oil, to make drugs. They basically, what this machine do is basically distilling at cold temperatures. That's all it does. And bartenders straight away, there was like a trend that I could do an orange juice for you and it would look like that.
Ah, yeah.
Because now it's like playing with your mind, that is not what you see, and we modify it, right? But this machine is really expensive and very labor intensive to do a clarification, because you can clarify with agar, which costs like $2 from the shop, right? But it's been like a rush to use this machine. This machine, basically what it does, distilling at cold temperatures, allows you to use an ingredient without modifying its natural characteristics.
Okay.
For example, if I take this orange.
Is this blood orange?
This is called Calla something. It's
really beautiful.
It's nice, isn't it? It's almost pink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I asked.
So, give me your hand again.
Oh.
This one. Beautiful aromatic.
Oh my god, it's so nice. It's almost floral.
Yeah, so if I put this orange, like I just gave it to you, in an originally copper pot still, one of these beautiful copper pot still, right? We'll caramelize it, right? If I give you this orange and you go home and cook it on the stove, you'll be making basically a beautiful like jammy stew orange flavors. If I want the zest of the orange that you just smell, I can't cook it. I need it to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I need to leave the orange in its raw stage.
Yeah.
So some people looked at this as like, you know what, in perfumery, for example, we use this machine called rotary operator because normally alcohol distills at 78.4, okay? Ethanol comes up to 78.4. Water boils at 100, but because of the sea level.
Yeah.
If you go up in the mountain, less pressure, less pressure, therefore quicker boiling point. People think in the mountain there is more pressure. No, less pressure. That's why you need to get air, because it's not coming at you with force.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah? So let's say this is atmosphere.
Yeah.
This is a mountain and we're here. If I'm pushing down,
yes,
the force here will be less than the force here, because here I need to go more down.
Okay.
That's why there is more pressure underwater
Right.
than up in the mountain, right?
Okay.
So, some people realize if you go up in the mountain, like in Bogota, water boils at 92 degrees, much quicker. So then with this machine, to show you, let me see if I got a really nice photo. I think if we go back,
Gosh, it's a very nice Instagram account, isn't it?
Thank you.
Do you do all that?
Some people like no. The answer is no. It's very hard for a brand owner. And I was talking to the guys at Mork as well, Josephine and Kitty. I was like, the packaging looks great. And normally I ask, are you working with the designer? But it's a funny space because obviously it's the designer work, and this is like the photographer work and an agency that we use, but there is a lot of influence from us,
of course,
coming to course. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, the machine. Yeah. So in this case, olive oil.
Yeah.
You see, this red tubing is a condenser. So this one, the blue here, is just a condenser. Cold water, -20, goes through the serpentine there. That's all it does. But these are the tubing. There is a pump there. Yeah. There is a pump that is sucking air and making it basically under vacuum. By reducing the air, they're lowering the pressure, so we can use the machine at 40 degrees.
Wow.
So we're making alcohol boiling, which technically means going from a liquid state into a gas state.
Yeah.
Rather than 78.3 or 100 if it was water, at 40.
Wow. Okay.
What does it mean? At 40, we're not cooking.
Yeah.
40, you can.
I see. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At 40, I can put my hand in it and it's fine. Now, this orange at 40 is very fragrant.
Yeah.
And it smells very close to what you smelled before.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what we're doing. And then you had a question about how did I learn. So firstly, a dinner by Heston. I'm going back and forth. Firstly, a dinner by Heston, because we used to have this type of techniques and cocktails.
Yeah.
And then when I went to Lume, I started to work with the machine more and more. But, I always say to bartenders when I do seminars and classes, don't fall in love with the techniques. Fall in love with the taste.
Yeah.
Because sometimes a simple technique, maybe just like shaking, is fine.
Yeah.
You don't have to use a rotary evaporator for everything.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a trend sometimes. People want to rush and tell you, we distill there, we infuse this, we ferment there. And then the drink is nice.
Yeah.
It's just nice. You know what I mean? Not because you do all of this. So sometimes you don't need a rotary evaporator. I've done training with some bars in Melbourne, and the guys didn't know I even ended up buying it. Because it's, that machine is like a Formula One car. If you can't spend time to understand how the steering wheel works and when to use it, it's not a car that you go to work. Yeah. It's a car that needs to perform to extreme levels. I had some bartenders, this was a bit of a turning point because I have a bartender that I very respect, and he was doing a guest shift. In bartending, there is things as a guest shift, like a 4 hands menu. Chefs. Yeah. So a bartender from a different town. Yeah. Like for example, I'm going to Shanghai in September to do a talk and judge the cocktail competition, and they will put me in a bar to do a guest shift. So people that want to see me and see my style of drinks, they will come for 2 hours. I'll be behind the bar. Anyway, he was doing a guest shift here in Melbourne, and he goes, Orlando, can you please help me? I know you have a rotary evaporator. Can you please? I need some clear pear, smoked pear juice. I'm like, yeah, of course. It's like, basically it's a pear. He gave me the recipe, like a kilo of pear, 2 liters of water, whatever, blitz it, and then you distill it with the rotary evaporator, and then we smoke it. I'm like, oh, cool. Is that for the aroma? Because if you don't use smoke, the aroma of pears will go. And if you follow me, the reason for the rotary evaporator is for aroma. Taste is given by maceration and hot distillation. This is my sentence for life. Right. Yeah, when you smell, it's like, a rotary evaporator takes you to an extra level. And then he goes, no, it's purely to discolor it. I'm like,
no, they haven't understood.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly right. So that means you followed. You're a teacher. But sometimes, like for example, this machine that I just showed you is a 20 liters. Costs about 45k. And that machine on a full day shift, the way we use it if you're really on the dot, and I wrote a manual, if I say to you, Joe, you go 8:30 a.m., your shift begins, you turn the chiller on, while the chiller gets a temperature, you measure the ingredients, you start distillation about 9:15, and you're really into it, you get to do 2 distillations in 1 shift a day. That's all. So you put 11.5 liters. At the end of the shift, it gives you only 20 liters of distillate.
Yeah, right.
It's not much. For pillars or any distilleries, in a copper pot still,
Of course.
on a day, they can give you 1,000 liters.
So, and where can people buy these? So
Black Arts and Sparrow,
Okay.
independent bottle shops.
Nice. But people making these at home, do they need training to know?
No, that's the thing.
So you just pour?
Bravo. Pour and drink.
But it's nice to know some of those extra things. Like
Of course you do. But this is why
Oh.
here it just says strawberry and cream Negroni.
Yeah.
But then if you turn around,
yeah.
I'll let you read it.
Oh.
Vai, andiamo. Put you under the spot.
Yeah, I'm reading it up. A poetic seed is planted in a media green room on a rainy Melbourne Saturday when chef Shane DeLeo met bartender and Loro founder Orlando Marzo. The signature Jada Negroni sees an alliance of flavour akin to the partnership nurtured between its creators. The result is a delicately sweetened take on the classic Negroni that perfectly introduces the fragrant Middle Eastern palate. Stalwart's gin and vermouth head a strong foundation as sweet macerated strawberries, aromatic rosehip and decadent yogurt chips carefully complete an unforgettable aperitif with lingering pleasantness.
Yeah, so if you want to know more about it, then you can just read the bottle.
Yeah.
But at the front, we know that, for years I've been working in venues that can be a little bit, not pretentious, but intimidating for the everyday consumer. You know, when you go to like Society or you go to Apollo Inn or Gimlet maybe as well, or to this Eau-de-Vie, like we have at Eau-de-Vie we used to have 450 whiskies.
Yeah.
And you want to order a whiskey, you feel like, oh, I don't want to make the mistake. Because these guys know.
Yeah.
So they didn't want that.
Yeah.
You know, here we use, you've seen how many ingredients we use, right? You just read it.
Yeah.
But is it delicious? That's all that's all it matters when you're at home.
That's right.
You put it in the fridge, you get around the table, you put a beautiful celery, carrots, a bowl of olives, and you can entertain your guests while you're finishing your Parmigiano or whatever.
Yeah, nice. Sorry, that's not the case here.
Oh, Joe, I was expecting this.
I know.
Don't worry.
Damn it, yeah. So, because I often say to the chefs, do you think about food 24/7? Do you think about alcohol 24/7?
You know what? I not 24/7, but I do very often. My brain is like, I drive. This morning I went to Dandenong and came back to pick up something. Do you remember there's espresso machine there?
Yeah.
To pick that up. And I was thinking about a release that I want to do for Christmas, but also for summer. Thinking about margarita flavors and I do think about drinks all the time. I do think about occasions and ingredients.
Yeah.
That's what drives me the creativity, I think. I was thinking to do like a really cool frozen panettone cocktail.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. When I was driving, I asked my friend, chef friend of mine, can I buy this candied orange and I can have it in the drink and you can drink almost like a smoothie, but like it's an alcoholic, low ABV kind of drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Wow.
But I wanted to show you, this is why I add a little bit of soda, because these drinks are very straightforward. The martini, you put in the freezer.
Yeah.
Cold glass, like you done or so. Put it, that's it. Strawberry and cream Negroni, ice in a glass, orange slice, there you go. But espresso soda will make it sparkling. If you are at home and you say, you know what, I want to shake it. Some people are like, I have friends and they want to come around, they want to see a little bit of action. This is why I brought the shaker.
Okay, yeah.
You want to shake some cocktails?
Sure.
Shall we shake the chocolate Negroni?
Yes.
This is exactly what I wanted to show.
All right.
And look at this. Matches your pants.
I don't.
This is a collaboration we did with Mork.
That's right, yes.
Yeah. You want to try without the shaking first?
Okay.
We use...
What does the so the shaking puts air in it, right? So.
Bravo. And normally, technically, if you really distill down, what a bartender does, we're adding temperature and dilution to ingredients.
Okay.
Really, right? Like a chef is adding temperature or whether it's lowering or altering temperature in a way and modifying the raw ingredients. As a bartender, we're adding dilution, so you get to drink that alcohol, and temperature so you don't feel it. That's really what we do. Shaking add that kind of aeration and a touch more of dilution. But this, Joe, hope you like it. It's an amazing drink. We use a little bit of, can I put some ice in it?
Yeah.
I'll get the ice out because I gave you to shake as well.
Oh, it just smells so chocolatey as well.
So, this one, Joe, same machine, but we have check this out, 100% chocolate. Technically not called chocolate, because chocolate is a result, now it gets complicated, and if I get too bored, just like shut up, give me a drink. Can happen. Chocolate is a result of cocoa nibs that have been crushed, right? And then fat, like cocoa butter or oil, and sugar is added. At that stage is chocolate. If you and I say, tomorrow we want to start a chocolate company, why not?
Yeah.
We want to start from getting the cacao. We get the cacao in, we toast it ourselves, and be like, no, Orlando, like we want to make it really commercial. Let's just get the cacao already dark, already toasted, already in chocolate, and then we add oil and sugar to our recipe, right? Because I love panela sugar and I love this really organic oil, whatever. So in that case, we are shopping for 100% cocoa liquor. So you buy cocoa liquor,
okay,
and then you add fat and sugar to our recipe, and then it becomes chocolate. So we get access to 100% cocoa.
Amazing.
We distill it with a machine, and the cacao husk, the husk outside the shell, the nibs, we macerate it into gin. So it's a product. Exactly. So the palate is the texture and depth is given by.
It's got a lot of depth.
Yeah, that's given by what I was telling you earlier. The rotovap is give you that beautiful aroma.
It's amazing. For something that's a liquid, to have that, it's quite deep, isn't it?
Yeah. I love this one. It's very. I mean, it's not for everyone, but like.
It's very chocolatey. It's surprisingly chocolatey.
Yeah. And it's not chocolate like fake.
No.
When you go and buy white chocolate liqueur, that's like, we could have done that. That's fake. That's natural extract or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to do a little bit of shaky?
Sure.
And see what happens?
Yeah.
When you come this way. Have you shaken before?
Yeah, I do espresso martinis.
Do you want to do that instead? I got a coffee cocktail.
Yeah, right.
So, first of all, let's talk about the head. The head is given by the energetic reaction, the act of shaking, plus also the coffee itself. When an Italian comes to Melbourne or UK, normally they go like, the espressos are not really good. Because when you roast coffee high, roasting coffee is like making a toast. If you like your toast really toasted, let's get a little bit more caramelized. If you like a little bit more white, you get more of the flour, more of the bread taste, right? Same with coffee. What happens though, when you toast higher in coffee, during that process, you create more CO2. The higher you toast, the more CO2, and when you make a coffee, the heat of the water under pressure, hot water under pressure, with the CO2 releases the beautiful crema. So if you go to some cafe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they roast very light, you won't get that much crema.
Yeah.
So we use a cold brew. So cold brew even gives you an extra layer of fat if you want in texture. Arguably some barista will tell you, you don't extract much caffeine, where you extract more caffeine or into TDS, total dissolvable solids in coffee. It's very giggy. more with hot water than you do with cold water. But we're not talking about the actual caffeine. We're talking more about the coffee flavor. That's what we wanted to have more in our drink.
Yeah.
Now, when we shake, let's say you're making this from scratch. You're not, because you're making a Loro cocktail. You would pour...
Obviously.
Yeah, obviously. Hello, Loro.
No, not with my plunger coffee.
So, you would get this bottle ready to go.
Yeah.
You put 75 mils, I would say, in here. And then without ice. I was watching you before. With ice, you're very careful, right?
Yeah.
We want a lot of ice. When we serve a drink on ice, or when we shake, we want a lot of ice.
Okay.
Because, before we go, I'll give you an example, right? Let's say this glass is a gin and tonic, and I just have 2 ice cubes, right? In 2 minutes, these ice cubes will be gone.
Yeah.
And they will be over diluted because there is a lot of tonic for the same amount of gin, which the bartender will put 30 mils anyway, and a lot of tonic just to fill the glass, right? But the ice job is really to make the drink cold and add as little dilution as possible.
Okay.
So we want the drink full of ice, and now you have the right amount of gin and the right amount of tonic. Same with a cocktail. So a lot of ice. But in this case, we don't need it for the espresso martini. We just need to shake it. So 75, yeah, 75, 60, to the very top.
Oh, to the very top.
Yeah. Now, can I show you the shake first?
Oh.
Sorry, we do it without ice. Show me how would you shake.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's good. No, I like it. Do it again. Bravo. So you want the action to be as fast as possible. You want the ice from here to here to go as fast as possible.
Oh, okay. So
there's another little trick. So you always make the drink in here.
in the small part.
In the small part, and then you add ice. Why do we do that? Because you ask me, why?
Yeah.
Because if I would put ice there, and let's say you're making this from scratch, or even just a Loro, you go like 70 mils, and then your friend said, where is the toilet? And you go like, oh yeah, I'll show you in a second. It's around there. That drink is diluting.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Or let's say we're shaking 3 drinks. Now we put ice, and liquid. By the time we get here, this drink is already diluting. And we don't want to do that, right?
No,
Because
okay.
otherwise it's over diluting.
Yeah.
So we do liquid, and then we ice the drink later. When you close a shaker, one side of the shaker needs to be perpendicular to the other bit. So you go whichever way you do it, but you never do it like that, never center. You want one.
My shaker's just got a lid.
Okay, you can do that too, it's fine. Okay. So in this case, it's a bit more, it's called a Boston shaker. Okay?
Like professional.
Yeah. Some bartenders will go like,
yes.
Bang. Now you can't feel it because this is marble, but in a station, you'll be like, bang, boom, pam, ping. No, I always go liquid, close, you bring it to your hands. Now this is still unclosed properly, right?
Yeah.
Then I go tap, that is fine. No more than that. If I flick this, it's not going, you see?
Okay.
That tap is fine.
Even with liquid in it?
Even with liquid, I'll show you. People go like bang, bang. And then, the position is fine. Actually, if you want to do that, do that. No, it's fine. Wait a You can do that, but you got to as hard as you want. Yeah. You can do that, you can do that. You can do even this. No? Technically, you go like, this is more like IBES 1990s. Technically, you want to close your shaker. You want to have one hand here. Now, my technique is I hold a thumb here and my hand here. I hold with 2 fingers here and not here. These 2 needs to be together. Because if I just do this might open and splash. So I want to keep like what you've done before, like these together, if anything. And I want to have this movement rather than this. If we try, let's try one. Look at the sound there. I hear in bars, not like that's a bad shake.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay? You want to hear.
Yeah.
Rather than.
Yeah.
the ice needs to, imagine the ice is in there making foam and diluting, right? Rather than, hello, hi, how you doing? I'm here, and it's diluting the drink and the liquid will go like, oh, you can't do anything with us. You want to make it really, really, really foamy? Yeah. And then, sometimes bartenders go bang, 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 bang. No, because if you slam it on the bar, you need like a hammer to open it, rather than if you just tap it as I did. This is perpendicular, this is open, then you go like this.
Delicious.
Yeah, nice?
Yeah.
Would you like some ice?
No.
I normally would never add this ice, but
No.
that's what we have a little bit of frappe. So, the story? Did I tell you last time about the story?
Tell me the story.
Do you want to sit down?
Yeah. I feel like I've heard the story maybe a few times, but I really like the story.
The story matches Joe's dress today, Be party, be 90s,
right.
be 80s, be 90s.
Oh, 80s, 90s, okay. Yeah.
So in the late 80s, early 90s, a top model walked into a bar and asked the bartender to make a drink to wake her up and fuck her up. Pardon my French. So he made a Black Russian, which is a cocktail made with vodka and coffee liqueur and a little bit of espresso in it, served on ice. But this was the 80s, 90s, the first golden era of the cocktails, really.
Was it New York or London?
London. Soho, London, yeah. And it took off really quickly. And, for many people, a lot of people started to drink it and they were like, oh, there is this famous cocktail created for a top model. It's got coffee in it, blah, blah, blah. And normally it was served over ice in this glass, in a rock glass. But for many people, a cocktail glass is a martini glass.
Yeah, when did that start?
That's it. So from vodka espresso was called originally.
Yeah, right.
To, coffee martini and then espresso martini. But at the venue that I worked, we were not allowed to call it espresso martini. Oh. To keep an homage to Dick Brasso, who created the original recipe. That's why I decided to call it coffee cocktail, because the espresso martini has you like it, which is great, and so do I. But in the world of consumers, has the reputation of being kind of like a very young crowd drink, overly sweet, made with poor quality coffee.
Exactly right, and it's too sweet. They use sugar syrups or something in a lot of bars, don't they? I prefer my own. I prefer yours. I prefer Loro's. Loro first, and then me, then my version. Yeah. Delicious.
Yeah, because
it has got such a good coffee flavour.
We use that's why we call it coffee cocktail. We wanted to be real to the coffee and acknowledge coffee in a way. So I grew up in Italy, of course. What do you think, Brisbane? Or?
I couldn't quite pick the accent.
So, and in Italy we drink like espressos.
Yeah.
So bold, rich, robust flavors. And that's what my interpretation of coffee is. But then here, particularly, I learned to enjoy more the floral element, the delicate element of coffee that can be that way as well. So I wanted to merge these two worlds. For that reason, we use tonka bean, which gives these beautiful flavors of like robust coffee and almost like baked goods aroma, like pastry almost. And then vanilla and orange gives you a little bit more like a floral, delicate aroma to the coffee. So those two together. Then we use a cold brew coffee. With the tonka bean and vanilla, we do a vodka. And that's what it is.
It's really good.
It's very straightforward. It's like vodka, coffee liqueur, and good coffee. But then we add a little bit of orange. And the orange is not there to be like, oh, I can't smell the orange much. I say to people like, cocktails or flavors in general is a little bit like art, if you wish, right? Not necessarily you always need to be a colorful Dali. You can also be sometimes a black and white or a monocolor Pollock.
Yeah.
And sometimes when its flavor is there, it's like making a stock. If you taste the onion at the end of your tomato stock, you went too far with the onion. But the flavors of the onion is to make the tomato a little bit sweeter. You shouldn't taste the onion at the end.
Yeah, that's right.
So same with the orange. It's there to give a little bit touch of fruitiness, Some people detect it, which is really amazing. But it's there to give a little bit of fruitiness and another flavor to support the cocktail aromatic without being like, oh, this is orange. You know?
What's your biggest seller?
That's a great question. Bergamo Negroni, I gotta say.
Really?
Yeah, which is very fascinating.
It's fascinating.
When you said that earlier about people being like, oh, you know, it's a pre-mixed drinks, we get that all the time.
Yeah.
And this is why we do this event, Joe, because people in the world, we're kind of new to the category in a way.
Yeah.
Like, not many people put a lot of attention to what a good ready-to-serve drink can be.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We have all of the pieces of the puzzle. Like, you have your gin, you have good syrups in the market, you have these tonics, and you have a tonic world competing with each other. Now, we know the more than 70% of people that will go to Dan Murphy will go home, put their spirits into something and mix it. More than 70%. But then, so everything is mixed. It's got raspberry and it's in a can, and, you know, it's done a bit like wacky. They want it to be like, not too serious, but as serious as talking to a gin distiller or whiskey distiller, talking about a cocktail. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So how many different versions have you, how many different, I don't want to say flavours, how many different...
Flavors in the collection, 7?
Oh.
Yeah, 7. We've done some limited release, like with Mork, for example. They're not necessarily all in our collection. We've done one with Supernormal. We've done a Paradox Bramble.
Ah.
Yeah, using Australian and Southeast Asia flavors.
Wow.
We use like macrot lime to get a beautiful leafy aromatic. It's fascinating that when we look at our collection, the Negroni and the Martinis are there. Because I knew it, that consumers, they're not necessarily my 1% bartender hospitality friends, you know, and they will be like, oh, you know, Martini might be too strong, or Negroni is like pushing the envelope a little bit too much, right? But it's very rewarding to see that Negroni is one of the most selected cocktails in our collection, because the way we've manipulated and the way we have showcased the flavors.
But maybe, absolutely. Yeah. And also, I feel like, you know, broadsheet is a big thing. You know, they're all talking about how martinis have become like the drink of choice. Yes. Maybe we've grown up, or not grown up.
Can
maybe.
Sure.
That's all right. I only have to go downstairs. So yeah. It is interesting.
You're not cooking dinner, are you?
No, I'm probably just going to order a pizza or something.
Maybe fish and chips. Yeah.
Fish and chips.
Oh, tonight we're doing pizza as well.
Yeah.
There's a pizza night.
You've got a little baby.
Yeah.
Oh my God, so
1 year.
cute.
Yeah. 1 year last Sunday, actually.
Wow. That's amazing. I look at people like you who have these really incredible businesses that you're really, and chefs too. They often open restaurants at the same time as their partners have babies. I just think, I feel like it's always these people who are looking for challenges. It's like, give me another challenge.
Yeah, I used to
bring a baby into the mix.
Yeah, very interesting you saying that, and mostly that you're acknowledging that, because there was a time that I was doing triathlon.
So you do. You're a person that needs challenges.
And I was, I did a 70.3, which is 2K swim, 90K bike, and half marathon, right? All in the same day. And then I looked beside me, and I remember having some moments of like, this is a lot. Because this was like 2 years ago when I launched Loro.
Wow.
I was meeting my mates in Elwood at 5:30 on a Saturday.
It's unsurprising.
And cycle to Dramana and come back.
Yeah.
And then run after 150k bike, which was crazy. And then I looked around, and I remember having a moment. I'm like, very respectful friends and mates. But like Mario just retired, he's 60, and he has 3 kids, and they're getting married. She's bored, and you know, she's got a 9-to-5 job. They're set for life. You know, there are people that don't need another stimulation in life, and so that's their triathlon giving you that. And I was about to get married, having a kid, doing triathlon, launching a business. Was all I couldn't do everything 100%, so I pulled that from that intense training, because it was like 12 hours a week of
Well,
training.
you can't have all of the stimulation. That's a lot of stimulation.
Like Tuesday, Tuesday and Thursday, we would train twice a day. I mean, if you're 19 and you're a high performance athlete and you're 17, you want to do that for your life, for sure.
Absolutely.
But if you then got a job, then you need to be, thinking clear.
So what brought you to Australia? Like you had were you in New York or just London? London. And then why did you come here?
Good question. In London, I feel London is like a very fast-paced city.
Yeah.
And a bit in everything, career can go pretty fast there as well, because just the cycle of life is a bit fast-paced, right? So I was in London and I was working with, in my circle, my colleagues were Australians, or there were two my best mates, French mates. They came to Australia, and they were telling me, "Oh man, you will love that. You will make a career in Australia, and you will because I love to travel." When I was in London, I was there in my mid-20s.
Yeah.
I would go to Italy on a day off and then come back the next day.
That's so amazing, isn't it? I know.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I would go to visit a distillery. So we would be closed on Sunday, Monday. So Sunday morning, we would go to the airport, spend Sunday, Monday in France, and Tuesday back at work. It was insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
And anyway, long story short, back then, thankfully to my work opportunities, because brands take you somewhere, what it's like, invite you to trips, and there is competition, get to travel. I went to visit distillery in France, I went to Spain, beautiful, it was amazing, I went to Switzerland, but I never traveled outside of Italy, outside of Europe. This was early 20s. And then I was like, I wanna improve my career. I measure in London. London is a very cosmopolitan city, but I know that there was more. I wanted to experience either Singapore, New York, or Australia. And friends, they've been in that kind of position, told me, look, States are amazing, but very hard to get a visa. You gotta do that. You gotta do that. And to be honest, not to be arrogant, but with confidence. In London, I had a really good position. So obviously, you want to maintain that. You don't want to go backwards and be like, I was the bar manager of the player, and I'm gonna be a bar back in New York just to be in New York. So I either gonna be. That's fine to be an assistant and to be in New York, but I didn't want to be like, oh, you're gonna wash dishes. I've done that.
Yeah.
And so my mates were like, oh, Melbourne is really upcoming, it's really beautiful, there's a lot of great bars. Some Aussie bartenders were in London, and so I felt a lot of connection. And in 2013, I came here. 10.5 years.
Wow.
To stay 1 year.
Yeah. Thank you.
New Zealand, never been to New Zealand. I really want to go.
It's worth it. Aotearoa. Land of the long white cloud. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Conversation with a Chef with Orlando Marzo, founder of Drinks by Loro. He has a beautiful Instagram account at drinks_by_Loro, that's Loro, which you could check out, as well as the website drinksbyloro.com, where you can order your own lovely cocktails. If you'd like to hear more stories from chefs, I'm on Instagram at Conversation with a Chef. You can read the chat and become a subscriber at www.conversationwithachef.com, and of course you can follow me on Apple and Spotify podcasts. I would love it if you told a friend about my chats, because that's still the best way to get the stories out there. Once again, thanks so much for listening. Have a great day, and bon appétit.